All right, friends, we're in the truck, which can only mean that we're on an adventure. And what we're actually doing is we're headed to take a look at consignment auction. It works so much better to go videotape ahead of time and then go back the day of. So we are going to get started right after this. All right, looks like they pretty well got her lined up here. Where we're at is the 2026 Bingham farm equipment auction. This is the place where I get a lot of my treasures, you know, from auction time. And they got a pretty good selection of stuff here this year, I'm telling you. There's some interesting pieces. And we'll just take a walk around, and that way when we get here on Friday we can, you know, just hit the highlights. But hopefully you've seen everything. That worked pretty well last year because that video got 82,000 views. So yeah, and there's a lot of different little things here, you know, something for everyone. There's something here that I really super would like to have, but it probably won't be anywhere in my price range, but I'll show you when we get there. But yeah, lots of 3-point attachments. There's a side boom mower. That'd be handy for a lot of stuff. Some stuff is just practically brand new. I think he buys quantity, like he'll order 10 or 12 new ones and then sell them, so he's got new stuff too. There's a little pull type disc somebody's made a little platform for. That's kind of interesting. Little finish mower, a Campbell sprayer. I sold the one we had, and I kind of wish I hadn't have now, just because that's something we had, you know. I don't know. I didn't really think I wanted it sitting around, but I don't know. Kind of wish I had it back now. There's a little dirt pan. That's pretty cool. That's another thing I wouldn't mind to have, although slightly bigger to maybe pull with the 4-wheel drives. Backhoe attachment. There's a jackhammer attachment. Alice Chalmers snap couple disc. That's kind of neat. Fits like a what have you, WD or D17 or anything that's got snap coupler. Missing the pins, I think, that go through there. And then it clips underneath. That's kind of neat because a lot of those probably got scrapped because they wouldn't fit anything other than the tractor that had that hitch. There's a little portable livestock scale. Pretty neat. There's another little dirt pan. There's a lot of stuff here so far I wouldn't mind to have if it was reasonably priced, but I'm guessing the weather will be decent and there will probably be quite a crowd, and that will probably hinder any sort of good deal situation, but you never know. There's a Ford 3-bottom. That's kind of unusual to see a 3-bottom. I'm gonna try to go around and get everything so that we can see it, you know. There's a 3-point PTO driven cedar. That's interesting. A little tiny Great Plains, like a 6-foot. Nice looking batwing bush hog. That's really nice looking. I don't think that's ever been used. I think that's been sitting on a lot in places, and it's just never got sold, maybe. I don't know. New Idea, maybe a New Idea manure spreader. Case baler, which should be the same as a Heston. A Rhino bush hog. We'll catch those tractors in a minute. Let's go up and down the rows so I don't have to walk back and forth a ton. There we have a nice set of stainless tanks and bracketry. Although that's not a thing anymore, people don't really do saddle tanks. There's a slightly restored New Idea ground drive spreader and some type of PTO bush hog. A Comer. I don't know if I've ever heard. Oh, it's a Land Pride. It says it on the gearbox. Huh. Melrow drill 3-point. That was sold in Wisconsin. Ford and white. How about that? There you go. Leave in the comments if that was your dealer. It's an IH pull type sickle mower. There is a Case IH. That's the same as my 1120 Heston. Heston was owned half and half by Agco and Case IH. So some of the hay tools are the same stuff between the two. There's a little 3-point planter. There's no markings on it. The boxes kind of look IH-ish, but some of the coloring looks kind of Co-op. Maybe it's Alice Chalmers. That's probably what it is. Although a 3-point one, I don't know. Seems unlikely. There's a big ring roller, or whatever you want to call it. Different people in different territories call them different things. I can't read what that says, can you? Pretty war. Got some little miscellaneous things. That's probably pretty nice if you were in the market for something like that. That looks brand new. Lots of little attachments. Little roller. Finish mowers. Ground drive spreader. That one's a little bit of a fixer-upper. We got 3-point attachments. We got a IH 4-row planter. It's the kind of thing where you hope a collector gets it just because they aren't making any more, and seems like stuff like this gets scrapped. That's a shame. But there's lots of stuff. They usually have several ATVs, UTVs, just different things that are traded in or they get from dealers. I think a lot of times they buy stuff from dealers that isn't the brand that the dealer sells, just because the dealer wants stuff of their brand on their lot, you know. But when we get to the tractor row here in a minute, that's the one I am most excited about. Right over there. We'll let you take a look at that. Skid steers. There was quite a number of them last year, and they did pretty well. Anything like skid steers, little mini excavators, did very well. A deer baler. Looks fairly well kept. It might have 1 million bales on it though, I don't know. One never knows, you know. But the technology hasn't changed much in all the years of, you know, even since my baler, those knotters are just practically identical. So Interesting. There's a hay accumulator. We've got a grapple, a crone baler. That's kind of unusual around these parts. I couldn't tell you who around here has one that uses it. So, it's kind of interesting. Doesn't say where that place is, but that must have been who sold it new. 1750 planter. It's a little blue disc. Don't know what brand that is. There were some more planters and stuff there, but there were guys looking at them, so I didn't want to bother them. JCB one arm skid steer. I don't know what we have here, a big generator or a big air compressor. Probably a generator. Gen power. There you have it, if you need one of them. Now we're back here, a 40-40, which I think that's kind of a size you don't see very often, maybe. It seems like to me. It's, I don't know, it's used, but it's not beyond saving. It's had a new rim put on it, 2 new rims. So that's definitely a plus. It's got a few dents and dings in it, but hey, folks, those things are getting to be like 50 years old too, so that's hard to believe. And we got, what do we got here? An 8320T. I have no idea what vintage those are, so. Another pull-type bush hog. 2 of these Ford Commanders, which I think is interesting. You hardly ever see these around here for sale, and they have 2 of them, a narrow and a wide. They do not run, as far as I know. They had them for sale on the lot, and then moved them over to this auction side. So it'd be something neat, you know, if a guy could get it real cheap to mess with it, but I'm just betting there's going to be enough interest, thinking like I'm thinking, that it probably won't be cheap. But they appear to be the what do you call it, the Selectomatic, or I can't remember what they called it. Is that what they called it? Ford. But anyway, it's like a power shift, you know. You push the thing and it goes. Pretty snazzy. They have a face only a mother could love. You look at them, you know, kind of different. But it would be something neat. Both diesel too, I believe. Let's go down here now to see the thing that I came here to look at. It's in this line. Got another backhoe. That's a fairly good size one. Some more deer planters. I'd say that little 6 rows like that and stuff are coming down into the value range of pricing. Soil saver. I would assume this is it's like a 3-shank ripper. That's what it is. There's a finish mower set up for like a golf course. Batwing job. A Case International something or other. 5.9 liter. I don't really know what number that is, because I'm pretty sure they were all white, were they not? And somebody's painted that one red and made it look, you know, international like. Here we have, what, a 230 Massey Ferguson. Little utility. I don't know if they made them different sizes, like some tractors where you had low or high utilities or whatever, but that's a narrow little feller. And it looks in pretty good shape too for what it is. Skid steer, but I'm not here to look at a skid steer. I'm here to look at this. Look at this little feller. A 1255 cockshutt, a little Fiat. They had it for sale this winter, and I was going to come look at it, and I never made it. And then they moved it over and put it on the auction side, which is fine because I probably won't be able to buy it anyway. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what this is going to bring. They had it listed for $9,500, and I'm afraid with the internet bidding, it's probably going to do every bit of that. The video had it running and driving around. In person, it does look rougher than it did on video. Somebody did try to love it in its life. They've, you know, if paint was missing, they tried to put it back. But that also shows, I mean, that's a glob of weld, that whole section there. So it's been very hardly ridden, but whatever. The grill is surprisingly immaculate. I have a feeling they probably had it off and hung in the barn, and then whatever, because that's about pristine there as far as grills go. It's got some leaking on it. It's still got the drip shield. We need to put that on that 1250 because it's got the same style fuel filter setup that one does, where it has the one at the bottom and then one up here, and the later ones had, or the 13 size had two side by side, I should say, because the 13 size you had an extra amount. Very original though. I mean, it's got all the original stuff. Original horn, original light relay, and an original voltage regulator, fuse box. That might even be the original flasher. No, it's a USA flasher, but it's been used and maintained, you know. It's very interesting. I mean, you just don't see these hardly at all. A 1255 cockshutt, front wheel assist. And another thing I noticed in the pictures, it still has a Fiat serial tag, which is the first one I have ever seen that did that. Most of the Fiats, no matter what color, had an Oliver style serial tag riveted up here, and then that one was removed because there were two holes there. So that lends me to wonder whether or not the cockshutts came into a different port than the Olivers, or at least some of them. If they came into a different port than the other ones, and that's why they did it that way, or what. But what I have discovered about Fiat serial numbering and the stamping of like the other tags, there was no rhyme or reason to it. They could have been sequential serial numbers and done different ways. I think the different guys who put the plates on did things differently. So maybe this guy just left the originals and thought that's the way she is. I don't know. But I'm just looking her all over, and it's very complete, original, but it ain't no beauty queen. I mean, it's definitely shows its scars, but it's complete, you know. The only thing it seems to be missing is the top link. Very interesting. It's got 2 out of 3 of its original style headlights. One's different, but it's got both original flashers. It's had some hose replacing done, which ain't no surprise at this point. It's still got, being a 12 size, maybe all the 12 sizes are that way and I didn't realize it, but it's got the dual sump setup like this, where both of the pumps are pulling out at T's. That thing T's and feeds both pumps, which is interesting. That's different, and it's got a different style pump back here for the power steering, because I think they're flip-flopped. I think this is set up, I think, like that New Holland was, where they put the main hydraulic pump up here and the other one for the steering back here. And then like on the 13s, they did it the opposite way. The main hydraulic pump was here and the steering was there. It's a very cool little tractor. It's brand new front tires practically. But don't get your hopes up that I'm going to own it, because I just don't think I can swing it. Or at least for me, there's other irons in the fire I'd rather spend money on than sink 10 grand into something like this that's just going to sit. I'm not going to show this, but I'm curious for myself where it came from, if it says. He said it was local, somewhat local, and if this is to be believed, it's from a county, a couple counties over. Very interesting. So it's been to several tractor shows. That's interesting. I'm amazed that there's how your four-wheel drive setup goes in. Tight little feller to get on. Will it run? Probably not, because there was a battery cut off down below and I didn't turn it on. 6,208 hours. That's what I figured. Horn doesn't work either. Oh, that's a deal breaker there. No, it's not gonna start. It's too cold. But it does look like, well, we can't say that. The fuel gauge moves. That light came on for sure. I can't see out here if that one comes on or not. It does. It does. So it appears that the wiring is probably still correct, but it's just not gonna do the thing. Maybe. Oh, good little Fiat. The steering is not working, which is not surprising. It uses the setup like the 1250A. These little Fiats, man, they're sweet runners. Well, that is super cool, but like I said, probably not going to go home with me unless a miracle happens, because they're going to be proud of that. I'm figuring, it being a sale where it's online and people can bid from all over. I think it's already up to like 4,000 bucks. We can look. I'm spending a lot of time on this one thing, but are you surprised about that? Let's see if I can find it real quick. Can't find it. There it is. It's already up to 3,600. So I could still be a bidder at this point, but we'll see what Friday brings. Here is a very nice, I think he said this was a 4020 with a full vision cab. I mean, somebody's already polished on the hood and stuff, but like that yellow, I bet you could use that Rust-Oleum gel and bring that back to like new. And you could probably even do it for the cab if you really wanted to keep the cab. But that's a pretty nice original Survivor. Yeah, 4020. If a guy wanted a original 4020, that would be, I'd probably leave the cab on too, just because you don't ever see them that way anymore. People always get rid of them. It would be cooler if you had fenders on. I think this style cab would let you have the fenders and the cab. That would make it look a little bit more complete, maybe. I don't know. 4620. That's one to use right there. It's another one where somebody they took care of it by keeping paint on it, but it definitely could have a more cosmetic restoration done to it. But that's a pretty good size horse, I think. I don't know what those were. 130 maybe, or are they more than that? You have to leave that in the comments. Don't know. There is another, that's probably a 4020 as well, with duals. I'm not real sure. Let's see if the tag on these is back here like it is on my 2020. Yeah, 4010. So that's a 4010. Interesting. Over here we got a 3020 propane, which that's something you don't ever hardly see much. Propane, I've always wanted to get a propane tractor just to tinker with it and figure out how all that fuel system works, but haven't ever made that happen yet. This isn't going to be the one, so don't get your hopes up. But there you go. This little thing, take a look at this. Just like mine, except this one's in one piece and it's the right color. This showed up here much later. After they already had listed stuff, then I looked again and there was this thing. Somebody traded in and they did a pretty good restoration on this thing. I mean, it's got some very nice paint on, I think, for what it is. And it's got all new tires all the way around. So if you wanted to own one, friends, this would be probably the one. Looks like it's got 2 new rims on it too. But somebody spent some cash to make this look that way. Even if they had the tractor already, they spent some cash to make it look like this. It's got the belt pulley attachment, which they didn't all have. Mine doesn't have it. I wouldn't mind to have that, but I don't. Whatever. This one's missing the 3-point stuff, so I wonder if it was ordered without, or if it just never had it on, or if it got taken off later, or what the story is there. But it's also got the original seat, which mine does not have, and I need to try to find, because mine's got that stupid aftermarket thing with the long bar that bolts up there, and then you sit on a spring. I don't like those. But that's another interesting tractor you just don't see very often come up for sale. And I was thinking that the only year they made them tan was 58. I don't remember where the serial number tag is on. Oh, it's in the frame probably. Most of the cockshutts were, but I don't know where exactly. But there we go. I'll have to look that up later. 6041. But that is a pretty nice restoration job where you still wouldn't be afraid to take it out and use it for something, you know. So that'll be interesting to see what it brings. I've got more skid steers, manure spreader, Agco manure spreader, what do you call those, a forker? I can't remember now. It's on the tip of my brain. You know what I'm talking about. Telehandler, that's it. Little Kubotas. Loaders, no loaders. Front wheel assist, no front wheel assist. Skid loader. Cab even. A Mahindra tractor. There's a little 1-axle trailer. They must be in the process of putting the tags on, because there's one there. It's flipped over from the wind, I guess, or somebody having it open. But they usually had this, and you could find the listing online and what have you. attachments, a Gale skid steer with tracks. I mean, there's literally something for everyone, because it's just quite the collection of different stuff. All stuff that they've bought or traded for over the year. And here it is. They have an auction, and then they go back out and get more stuff for next year. I think this is the 4th auction that they've had like this. So obviously it was doing well, or they wouldn't keep doing it. So, but it is good advertisement too, you know. There's a Branson tractor. Somebody the other day was asking about those when I went to Farm Machinery Show. I don't know if they even make those anymore under that brand. They're probably all not the Mahindras, but what, the TYM tractors. I think they're the same company. So, hay fluffer. Here's another thing I wouldn't mind having for parts. 6-row 5100, which, wonder where that came from, you know. It's got like brand new seed boxes on it. It's like newer style seed boxes, right? I don't know, somebody spent some money on there, but there are some definitely parts and stuff I could have off of that, use it for parts, which is why I bought that 4-row and then ended up fixing it up and using it, you know. But we'll keep our eyes on that too, because there's definitely things I could do with that. New Holland belt baler, 40th anniversary. A few little battle scars. Silage special. Another 7200 planter. V-rake, I think there's one of those up there we walked past. 7,000 6-row planter. I think they sold one of these last year, about the same condition, and it did pretty good, I think. Where are we here? We're V-rakes. Another V-rake. Side boom bush hog. Big deer drill of some variety. ARPS backhoe. What's this, an IH disc? Kraus disc? I don't know. Kraus disc. Needs a little work here and there. About the same, very similar condition to the one I bought last year. The John Deere head on trailer, Case IH head on trailer. Subsoiler. 4-shank. Hardy sprayers. Rotary rake. A McFarlane fold-up harrow. That would be handy in some situations, I would think, like maybe pasture. Use it kind of like dethatching, maybe. Yeah, that'll probably bring a ton. Stuff like that usually does. John Deere side delivery rake. Another Kraus disc. Or not a disc, it's actually a finishing tool, isn't it? Front row disc blade, sweeps, and a harrow on the back. That looks like a Brillion. Yes, it is. Brillion cedar. Case IH disc. A Belarus. Soviet design tractors, I believe. She's been rode hard and put away wet. Lots of leaking. Lots of just the way it came off the farm situation there. I could not honestly tell you who around here would have been the dealer for something like this, or how they would have got here. This tractor made ready for the American market in Milwaukee or Louisiana. So That must have been where they ended up, and then they were outfitted. If it was like other foreign tractors, they probably came without tires and different things, and that was added here. Tires and lights usually were a thing. That old sucker though, she's been used. Although it's not totally destroyed on the front like you would think with a loader. Quick attach. That's funny. This has got that quick attach like Dad was looking at the farm machinery show. Identical. Universal style bracket work saver. I'm trying to talk him into one that's made actually for his loader, but we'll see how that goes. But it's got that on it, so if it survived this tractor, I guess it would survive. It's bent the pins though. Every pin on it is bent, so I don't know. Interesting. There's one of those what do you call them? Not sheep's foot cultipacker, but it's got the little protrusions on them, and it's transport style where you can, you know, pull it endways. Some forks, little 4-basket tedder. What brand is this? A Fort and Pagario. Van Brunt John Deere drill. A Kuhn 6-basket. 6-basket tedder. There's a little tiny soil finisher for your little garden farmers. That's kind of cute. Mowing machine. Pretty good sized bat wing. There's a new idea. .310 hay liner. Little disc. That's interesting to see one of those and then see two of them here, you know. Disc vine. I would say that is all stuff that that's for their lot, and then this is, I would say it stops here, would be my thinking, and then we'll have to go to the back part of the yard. So we'll walk back there and look at that stuff and see what's there. I need to just keep walking. Seeing that thing in person really fuels the fire, you know. That's a size I don't have. And front wheel assist. This is a pretty big place to walk, especially if you're fat and out of shape like I am. So those guys got the right idea, riding around on golf carts. Hopefully my pickup's still there when I go back. I realize I think I must have left the keys in it and my checkbook laying on the center console, so that's good. Oh, we laid her out different this year. The rows are going this way instead of long ways. Let's start down here. 3010 Ford. A tractor like similar to this. I don't remember the number, but that's what I won the 4-H tractor contest on many times, because our dealer, Oliver dealer, became a Ford dealer, so I'd always use their tractor. But that's almost 40 years old now too, you know, 30 some. John Deere Gator, little utility deer. I don't even see, oh, 3038E. Here's a sad familiar sight. The old Great Plains drill that we serviced many hours after people would destroy it. Here's the little plastic thing I put on there, and then later on in the designs they realized they needed water protection, so they made one that came with the kit out of metal. But last time we saw this, what did we do to it? We rebuilt that whole seed box in the back, and I've put all the no-till cutters on it before. It probably is getting to where it needs seed openers. That was one of the things I told them when they wanted to know what was wrong with each one, so they could figure out if they were actually, how much money they were losing, you know. It's not going to be a money-making deal. It's supposed to help out the farmers but not be a total money pit. So I told them that it was getting to the point where they should probably just buy a new one, because this one was having all kinds of issues. It kept shearing that one, is this side, kept shearing that pin. And so I'm glad they did, and then they haven't called me back since, so maybe I'm out of that job, which is fine. I would just as soon they take the stuff to a dealer and let that go. But it's been used, friends, and see, it's starting to show its age. The paint's starting to fail, and it sits outside so much that for something like that where you want to rent it out and people have a narrow window to use it, they really need a good one. So yeah, anyway, not sad to see that go. There we got a Kubota 2200 portable creep feeder, a Kinsey planter, very similar to what my uncle had, except I think his was a 4-row and he had 3 pusher units in front. Case IH dozer, or case dozer I should say. Kinsey fold planter. There's a Genie lift. I'd like to have a Genie lift, but not that style. I need the kind that the boom articulates in like 4 different places to get up to all the stuff that I do. Although that's 85 feet, I bet. So maybe I could do it with that. There's a Landau, very similar to mine, except this one folds. And I don't know that, I wonder how that would be, you know? That's probably exactly like the size of mine, just it folds in the middle. And what's interesting about that is, like, if you look at the frame on mine, it's basically 2 sections bolted together to make a rigid thing, but this is made a little bit different with the way it has the pivots welded on and reinforcements, but whatever. Sunflower soil finisher. There's another track loader, link belt. With a disc with some needing of some wheel repair. New Holland head. There's a lot of stuff out here that looks pretty darn nice, really. I mean, if you were in the market for one, here it is, you know. I don't know what that is. Is that a sunflower disc? Huh. Interesting. There's a little Dunham soil, what do you call that, cultipacker. That's another thing I wouldn't mind to have one. I've tried to buy the kind that have the transport wheels, and they usually bring a ridiculous price. Maybe this one will go cheaper since it doesn't. I could drag that out there and play with it with the old tractors, you know. A couple hay tedders there. Those are what they are. I mean, every hay tedder in the world is about the same, just different paint and decals. Big 7200 planter. Looks like it has some, it's been well used. Don't want to forget the Deere 650J dozer. Somebody's made them a little 4-row toolbar planter there. Looks like we got a Parker wagon. We've got this case backhoe. This little 65 gas, I see it's leaking gas. I don't know where the sediment bowl is, I'd shut it off for him. This is another thing that I think was added later. Oh, it is shut off and it's still leaking. I watched the video on it because they got a video on most all this stuff, but it's pretty rough. I mean, but most of these little utility tractors, they were used. They weren't parked to be looked at. That one just, I bet it had a loader on it at one time, and it looks pretty pretty rough. Not quite as rough as this though. That's pretty toasty. I'm surprised that's even on this sail. I wonder if that burnt while it was out here. Do you figure that that did? Probably not though, because it's got leaves in it from fall. Maybe it was out here on the lot somewhere else and burnt. Maybe they're selling it because they figure it's got, the tracks are good, the track parts, like your sprockets, your hydraulic pumps possibly. But that is pretty toasted. Although, that's interesting. I would have thought that that would have went right in the scrap pile, but I guess the tracks are its saving benefit there. Interesting. There's a coon baler, progressive density. Don't know about that. What do we got over here? An H. Probably an H, yep. They only made 1 million of those. FBH was F. F wasn't Louisville, was it? Did they say L if they were Louisville? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. That's another one that's been loved in its career, and somebody tried to keep up the paint on it. 4600 Heston inline baler. That is an early inline baler, I think. When they bought the design for the Oliver baler, the 720 baler kept getting made as the 5400, I believe. 5400 square Heston square baler. The only thing that was different was sheet metal. So I'm wondering if some of this stuff is that same stuff, like these knotter parts and things are the same as the 720. That's one of those things that I don't know, unless you bought the stuff and parked it all side by side. I don't know if I'll know the answer to that ever. OMC roll baler. Don't think I've ever seen one of those. Don't think I want to own one though. That's one of those that makes a soft center bale. Metal rolls though. There's a New Holland something or other. 570. And a hay bine there, or disc vine I should say. Kinsey pivot planter. There's a pretty good sized farmhand loader if somebody needed one. Telehandler. Skid steers on tracks. Lots of stuff. I mean, pretty amazing really to come up with this much different stuff like this. There's another harrow like that. Folding spike tooth harrow. Another Hardy sprayer. Stainless steel fertilizer spreader. Frame's a little rough, it's not stainless, but oh, hydraulic drive even, huh? That was probably a high dollar thing in its day. Ground drive though. Ground drive? Ground drive belt, I guess, and then hydraulic drive. I don't really know what's happening, what's taking place, to be honest with you. Yeah, ground drive, chain, and then hydraulic drive spinners. Interesting. Big cat, traco, backhoe there. I guess I should be more interested in stuff like that because people like construction equipment on videos, but I'm a farmer, so I'd like to have a backhoe and a traco and all that stuff to use, but I'm probably not going to have a yard full of them. I don't know what that is, a big spreader, big end spreader, and then this is one you could use for lime, pull type lime spreader, because it's got that wide chain. You can't, if you don't have the wide chain, it doesn't really work very good for lime. We've tried that before too. You need the width. There's a pretty decent-ish gooseneck trailer. How to change batteries. Each battery usually lasts about an hour, so that tells you how much footage this video is going to probably be by the time before we whittle it down. But we'll look at the back of that trailer, see if it's a folding tail or not. I can't tell. 4440. These things last year, they had several, and they brought what I thought was ridiculous price, but maybe that's what they go for now. They all brought like 18,000-ish. There's a 1650 John Deere. Never seen one of them. Front wheel assist. There's a 4430 that's been taken care of. Newish paint. I'd say they're trying to get it started because they got their service buggy by it. There's a fairly old Kubota. I bet that's from the 70s maybe. Maybe not quite that old. Little utility Deere. A TW20 Ford front wheel assist. Now that is super cool. And I got a buddy who likes Fords. And he likes, they got those county tractors and stuff. So I'm gonna send him a picture of this to make sure he's seen that it's coming for sale. Because this is something that seems like it's right up their alley. A front wheel assist TW. I can't say that I've ever seen another one up close. It's just interesting how a lot of these tractors, just like that cockshutt and this, and early IH front wheel assist, the front wheel assist was an afterthought, and it just kind of runs up along the side, whereas the Oliver had front wheel assist from the factory, and it was all in line. And just interesting stuff to see how different people did it. And that's a ZF axle too. That's interesting. There's a TW10. It's neat too to know how he'll find one of something and then there'll be two, you know, two TW tractors. It'd be an unusual day here to see one for sale in this area, but they got two. 4630. I think I've seen this one sell before somewhere, but I can't remember where. It's the back half of that trailer. It looks like it is a folding dovetail. They just have it up. There's a little mini, not really a mini, that's a fairly medium-sized excavator. Skid steer. There's a cultimulcher. It's a Dunham. Well, that's the one I need, because that's the kind of stuff we had all the time. Had a Dunham disc, and this is a Dunham cultimulcher. Pretty sacked out, but I bet it'll still bring thousands of dollars, because that's what those things do. Another hay fluffer. Grain cart. Fairly new-ish. There's a soil finisher, a Kent soil finisher, huh? That's a fairly light built one. You could probably pull that with a smaller tractor than what you'd think, but speed is your friend on those, you know. Ford skid steer. I actually have a Ford skid steer, which many people probably don't know. It's out in the woods, and it had a Wisconsin engine in it. It'd certainly been handy if it would have had some other type of engine that could be easily changed to something else. Some type of a wagon here. No, I'm really not motivated to crawl on the ground, but I can hold you down lower and see if you see anything. I don't see any markings, do you? That's fine. Same way here. I'm not real up on collecting wagons, so we're just gonna not worry about that. There's a Gale discbine. Is that like that Oliver guy's, the same model? I don't know. I don't know what model his is. This one came from Kentucky. I don't even see the number on it. Oh, there, 2345. Looks like it's been well loved. Head cart, 1745 Massey baler. I've looked at several of these. I wouldn't mind updating. These are basically the same like when we worked on the Agco balers in the shop. They're put together the same way, but parts, friends, are expensive on balers. And maybe it's not just these, it might be all balers, but geez, that top roll, we've put in one for somebody, and it was like, at the time, which was 15 or 20 years ago, it was like, what was it? It was like $1,500 for that top roller. So I don't know. Hardy sprayer, rolling basket. That wouldn't be a bad size rolling basket to have behind that 271 disc, because if it cuts as good as the 272, you have this behind it, you could just about plant in one pass, providing you didn't have very much trash on the field. You wouldn't do it if there was corn stalks, but Dimco sprayer. These are just kind of getting to be, any of these pull type sprayers are kind of a thing of the past. We just don't do that anymore, you know. Self-propelled sprayers are what the thing is. It's an old Massey baler. Probably where it belongs, somewhere else. I've worked on a few of those. They have a different type of knotter. They don't use the Deering style knotter. I don't really want to upset whatever they got here, but they're different. They turn a different way than you would think, and whatever. I'm just not up on going down that road, you know. There's a little John Deere tandem spreader. Like I said, there's some really nice little pull type spreaders you see for sale, but people just don't use those anymore. There's a Kinsey with the pusher units. Looks pretty rough, but I'd say you could, with a little bit of love, you could be planting with it. 484 International. I think we saw that sell last fall. Skid steer, 7000 planter. Boy, they got a lot of them. A lot of those 6-row 7000 series planters. Big Brent wagon. Good size wagon. 6620 Deere. That's another one. A pair of, there you go again. If you got one, you got two. 6620 Deere. 6-row head. Another 6-row head back there. Looks like several heads for these back there. Case self-propelled sprayer. It looks kind of roughish, but it only has 2,000 hours on it. There's an Apache. Two-wheel drive. Big feed wagon. I think they're a dealer for those, and I think they're a dealer for some head carts too, so that's probably why there's multiple things. 7810 Deere, 7800 deer. 756 IH. Is that one of them ones with the German diesel? I don't know. I don't know nothing about IH. But there it is. That's all I know about it. Little New Holland tractor. Skid loader. There's a fairly nice kept 140 with a loader. 400 Farmall with the Schwartz wide front on it looks like. They can keep that Schwartz. That never was my favorite front axle. Skid loaders. Conveyor belt auger, if that's what you call them. Maybe you just call them a conveyor, I don't know. There's a big leaf vac thing or whatever. I saw that sale listed and it was a town south of here. It's got a New Holland diesel in it. So, I don't know. I bet there were some deals to be had on that sale, but I didn't need any more stuff. There's a smaller version of the Haybine like I got. Again, badged as a Case IH, but the same as a Heston. A little narrower cut one. 273 hay liner. More heads. More heads. New Idea Haybine. That's a narrow little feller. Massey Ferguson baler. The thing is, the sad thing is, I guess you'd say, stuff like that narrow, and even that one over there, the wider stuff, you can buy older stuff that's wider now, cheaper, that it makes it not really worth it to buy something that's small like that. You know, you can get a bigger size and be cutting as much width as something that's modern with an older piece of equipment. So a lot of that little stuff, I'm sure it has its place. Smaller tractors or farms with narrow gates and stuff, but I saw this and I feel like I've seen it before too somewhere, and I really want one of these, but this is not the one that I want, because this one has been pretty hardly used in its life. It's got some patching on there, the tube's got a hole in it. I'm sure that it still works, but it's kind of bowed down. I don't know. I really think one of those would be handy, but I don't think it's that one. Not for me anyway. But yeah, there's a head cart and a little wing fold disc. I don't know what brand that is. Is that an IH? Looks kind of red. Yep, that's an IH. And then finally a 640R. Look at that. Practically new looking. 6110M is the tractor, I guess. 640R is the loader. They probably put that at the end to try to keep people here, you know, at the very end. But that's a pretty good selection of stuff for an auction, I think. And then they've got all that out there, which I'm sure is going to probably hit auction time, you know, after this is over. It's all the way back there and around, and then they've got stuff in the front that they just have for sale. So there's a lot of inventory here, and selling this off is only a small dent in it, you know. But we will be back on Friday when the auction is happening and try to see what we can do, or if there's something we can't live without. I'd love to have that little cockshutt, like I said, but I just don't think that's gonna happen, because I don't know. We'll just have to see how bad I really want it. It breaks my brain to spend a lot of money on a tractor that's just gonna sit. I got a lot of tractors but I think the most I ever paid for one was $4,000, you know. That was mighty whitey. I guess if you don't count the 9650, I did pay over $10,000 for that one, but that's one that gets regularly used. So that's a little bit different scenario, other than something that you would just buy to have for, you know, playtime. So, and a little utility tractor like that without a loader, what would you do with it? Front wheel assist, that really wouldn't be worth much in the grand scheme of working, because you wouldn't have any job that you really needed it for that way. But anyway, we are going to be back another day and we will see what happens. All right, it's auction day. I also got a sub driver in the afternoon, so I left the bus sit where you can get to it. But it's super windy today for no apparent reason, so I never know how to dress, you know. So I got a heavy winter coat on, and I guess I can always put it away if it's too much. Buddy the dog, what are you doing? You gonna keep an eye on it all like you always do? Sure. Yep. Well, we'll get out there and see what happens, but I don't hold any high hopes that I'm gonna come home with anything, because I'm just not, I don't know. I just know too much stuff coming up ahead for sale that, you know, I don't want to spend a ton of money right now in the spring, but we'll see. You never know. Well, as per usual, I'm running late. I didn't get here right when it started, but there's a lot of that little stuff out there first, so I don't figure I'm really missing too much. Probably missed out on weights, but they usually bring a pretty high price at a sale, so looks like they got a lot of the stuff running, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go get a number and bring you back to see some stuff sell. All right, let's go out here and make some bad decisions. They're basically just on the first row here, so this is all sold. Hey.
But it was traded in as there was a problem in one of the drives. It's a very slow drive right now, but the hydraulics are good. Just take it home. That's the way it got traded in. Ready to go. How many dollars on her down here? How many about it? Got 6,500, 7,000. We're going north. I 65 at a bit, $7,000 bid. If on a $7,000 bid. If on a 6,500 down, $7,000 bid. $1,000 there. And on 10,500 now, $11,000 there. 11,500. I got $11,000 D. 11,500 I'm down here. $11,000 D. 11,500. Yes or no? Got to go. 11,500 on her. $12,000 there. I got 11,500 now. 12. I got 11,500 now. $12,000 bid. If on 11,500, $12,000. Grab it to get there to get $12,000 on her. So 11,500 much obliged. 11,500 to the birthday boy. Irons on it. It's got a 20 horse. It's got a front blade but no loader. It's the best Brenda catalog. $1,500 is what we got. $1,750. Here we go. I got $1,500 and $1,750 bid up on a $1,500 need. 17 and a half. Two to get that here. 17 and a half of the buyer. 4-wheel drive. I got 1,500. 17.2. I 17.2. I 18. Here we go. I got 21 to buy down here. $2,100 bid down here. 2,100. So 2,050 buyer number, sir. Okay, the next one coming through is going to be the 2019 Bobcat. It's a T450 skid steer. It's got 1,425 hours. Got the auxiliary hydraulics, 55 horsepower. What are you thinking here? What a great place to go here. 2019 Bobcat. I got an opening bid of, I don't know, 5,000, 7,500, 75, 10. I 75, $10,000 on her. Now $10,000 coming on. Everybody gets 85, 95. I got 85, 95, 10, 5, 11, 5. I got 11, 5, 12, 5. I got 11, 5, 12, 5. Bid up on 11, 5, 12, 5, 35. Bid up on 14, 5 of the bound bid down here. Figure $15,000 out of bidder. Now 20,000. Get her done. Here we go. I got 19,500. Do it quick. I got 19,500 and a bid. $20,000 on her down here. $20,000 to get $20,000 bid on her. So 19,500. Bidder number 5 for 2022 model set. How to get a rider to see how many dollars under down here? $5,000, 6, 7, I had 7, 8. I got $8,000 now, $8,000 bid upon a 7 now, $8,000 bid upon a 7 now, $8,000 bid upon a 8 now, $9,000 bid upon a 8 now, $9,000, $10,000 bid there. I got 9 now, 10, $11,000 under, 11 now, 12. I got 11 now, $12,000. Gonna be 12. I got 11, 12. Here to get $12,000 bid upon $12,000 under. You got you at 12, 750, $13,000 under. I now 13.5. I now 13.5. Bid like a big boy. $13,000, 13.5. Here we go. So, $13,000 under buyer number. Down here, now 700, now 800, coming down here, 800 on a bid there. What's 700, 800, here we go. I got 700, 800, I had 700 and 800 on a bid if I had it. You just about had it. I got 1,250, one more time, yes or no, gonna go. 1,250. So, $1,200, but slide it under a load. The clutch is slipping, but a nice tractor we got right here. Gonna be a 1983 2350 tractor with a cab, 3,500 hours on it, and ready to go. I got $4,500, $5,000 to get on. 5,000. I had 45, $5,000 on her. What $5,000, $5,500 bid upon a $5,500 bid upon a 55, $6,500 get 60, now 10. Get it quick. Here we go. I got 95 bid, $10,000 on her down here, $10,000 on her. So 9,500 much obliged. Fire number.
Well, they got everything running pretty well, so. They're coming, finishing up that, and I'll turn around and come back down this row, so then we'll get to see some tractors sell.
Boys, and the right brake doesn't work. There you go. Got a little Cummins in it, ready to go. All right, here we go. We're going to there 20. We're going to there 10,000. We're going to there 10,000. We're going to there 4, 5. We're going to there 455 cents. I can now 5. We're going to there $6,000 5. 82 and a half, 8,500. We're going to 82 and a half, 5 y'all down. We're going to 82.50 to 5. 82. We're going to there 5 sell. 82.50 equipment facts. 82.50. We're going to there 2 and a half, 65. New joiner. I got 60. We're going to there only 2,000 hours on that tractor. 7 and a half. I got 6,500, 67.50. Going to there 5, 750. Going to there. Give me 68, Chuck. I got 67 and a half, 800. Going to there. Everything works good, boys. 67 and a half, 7, 8, 9, 7. They're going to there 6,900, 7,000. They're going to there $7,000. Got to go. 69, 7. Sell a check. 6,900. 7 and a half. I get 95, 97, 50. Going to there 95, 7, 50. Going to there 95, 7, 50. I get 10, 5, 7, 50. Going to there. What do you say, JR? 10, 5, 7. Going to there 5, 7 and a half. Sell it. 10,500. 60. That's a rare little tractor, boys. Here we go. We're going to there little cockshutt 1255 mechanical front now. Hey, wait a minute. Listen, Ted. Right there is the original owner of that tractor. There ain't a thing wrong with that tractor. There you are. All right, here we go. We're going to there, get on about $10,000. 10, going to there to 10,000. Going to there 3, 4. Going to there 5. Going to there to 4,000 5. I got $4,000 5,000. Going to there to $4,000 5,000. Going to there to $4,000 5, $6,000. I got $5,000 6,000. Going to there to 5, 6,000. Going to there to $5,000 55. Going to there to 555. Where would you find another one? 555. Going to there to 5. Going to there the bids on the ground now. 555. Going to there to 50. Now $6,000. Now 5. Going to there JR's in now. $6,000 5. I got $6,000 to 5, 7. Going to there 6,500 to 7,000. Going to there 65 7. Now 7,000. Going to there 6,500 7 and a half. Going to there 65 7. Going to there 65 7 and a half. I got 6,500 67 50. Going to there 5 750 all done. 65 7 and a half. Sell it. JR 6,500.
Now don't put me on YouTube.
Yeah, you will be. Don't worry.
246.
I gotta pay for this somehow. I gotta pay for this somehow.
They pay you to do that?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, DJ said you guys have looked at them. We're not going to talk about all of them.
I made Machinery Pete famous. I can do it for you.
Hey, I got last one. Oh, boys. I'm in shock, friends. I'm in shock that I bought this thing. I did not think it would go for that price. That's still more than I came here to spend, but it's still in the range of, I think there's money to be made if you had to sell it. So I don't know. I guess we'll see this after a while at home. I have to go get a trailer now.
You got them all straight. 47,800 but turn to 47,800. Sell them 4,700. JR.
Well, friends, I haven't been doing you a very good service as far as videoing things after I bought that tractor, which is still, I'm amazed. I can't believe that happened. We went and ate lunch, and so now they're all the way out here on this last row. So I'll try to get some footage of some other stuff, but then here after a while we'll have to go home and get a trailer and unload said trailer and then come back and load up tractor. So that's how she goes, you know. I did not, like I said, I'm in shock really, because I did not think that would happen. I really figured that would be over 10,000, just because it's the oddity of the thing, you know. I didn't see what this brought, but at this point it's pretty well you know, I've spent my limit for today, so I'm not buying any more stuff. But yeah, pretty cool, and we'll have more stuff to play with. So I need to focus here. we're gonna see what that Belarus tractor brings, because I don't think I've ever seen one of those sell. And then we'll just pick out some of the highlights around here. Those Ford Commanders are up there. We'll see what that stuff brings, and then we'll decide if we want to stay more or just go get our trailer. So that's the plan. I have to say that old thing runs pretty good for being as rough as it is. It might make someone a cheap front wheel assist loader tractor. I don't know. We'll see. They're still selling little stuff, kind of, or not little stuff, but all that equipment there. I think they're on that New Holland baler, maybe. I don't know.
Boys, 825 tractor with a loader. 2,300 hours, boys. All right. He said, listen up. It doesn't start with the key. You've got to jump the solenoid to get it to start. He said it's a little ugly, guys, but the guy was using it every day just like that. You got to jump it. You got to jump across the solenoid to get it to start. Around it or something. The guys will show you how to start it, but you got to jump across it to make it start. Need the solenoid, brother. There you are. All right, here we go. We're going to get around on the money, boys. You're going to $10,000 bid in, $10,000 there, 3, 4, going to $4, 5. Now 5,000, going to $4,000, 5,000, going to $4,000. I got 4,750, 5,000, going to $4,755. You all done? You're going to $5,000. I got 4,750, going to $5,000, going to $4,755. Sell it, 4,750. 8-6. BJ said they came out of the same barn. The guy's grandpa bought them both brand new. They haven't ran in several years. But there you go, you buy them like that. He said, we'll set them right on your trailer for you. All right, so the next one. Here we come to my dare. Got a little Commander 6,000, boys. You're going to dare $5,000. Logan $5,000 bid to 5. We're going to turn to 5. We're going to turn to 5. 15, 2. I got $1,500 bid to 2. Going to turn to 20. But they both turn over, boys. 2, 25. I got 2,500. 750. Going to dare. You only get 600 to back. 25, 600. I got 2,500 bid to 600 bid to 25 bid to $600. Now $700. Now $800. I got Caleb $2,700, $800. I got 27. Now $900. Now $3,000. I got 2,900, $3,000, 29.3. You're going to turn to 29. Then you got 3. Now 1. I got 31. Going to turn to $3,000. 31. Going to turn to $3,000. Then 1. Going to turn to $3,000. 1. Sold it, Chuck. $3,000. 7, 7. Hey, now you got another one, boys. Same story. Out of the same farm. It hasn't run in a while, boys, but straight on tractor. All right, $2,000, 2. Going to turn to 2,000. Going to turn to 2. Going to turn to 500. Double half. 500, 750. Going to turn to $500 bid to 750. Going to turn to $500 bid to $1,000 bid to 1,750 to $9,000. I got 900, $1,000. Going to turn 1,100. Going to turn 1,200 bid to 13. Where 1,400 bid to 1,500. Going to turn 16, $1,700 bid at 18. Now $1,900 bid. I got Chuck. $1,800 bid at 19. You're going to turn to 19. Now 1, to get a turn it, now 2, to get a turn of 2,100, 20, to get a turn of 1, 2. I got 2,100, 2, get a turn of 21, 2, 3, get a turn of 22, 23, check. I I got 22, 2300 to bid now, 2 to turn to 3 to bid now. You might as well have a pair. 22, 3. Now 3 to turn to 2200, 3 to turn to 22, to turn to 3 to bid now, 22, 3. Now 4. Now 4 to turn to 2300, 4 to turn to 4 to turn to 23, to turn to 4. Selling 2,300, same buyer. Sell the bush hogs, boys. There's a nice little cutter. 75, 77 and a half, to turn to 75, to bid now, 77 and a half, 57 and a half. Sold it, 7,500. Boys, it was a trade-in tractor. He said John Deere come out and fix a couple things that needed fixed. It's got 3,051 hours showing on it. That 30,000 JR's got to bid now 30,500 to bid. I got 30,500. Gonna bid there 30,500. Gonna bid there 30,500. I got $30,000 bid to 30,500. Gonna bid there 30,500. Gotta go, boys. 30,500. Gonna bid there 30,500. Sold the tractor. $30,000 going to Florida. Tractor came right off of an estate, guys. He said we changed the hydraulic fluid in it. PTO shuts off good. It's right off a little state, little 4040. Power shift tractor. There you are. Put her on the money. Here we go. Get a bit there. Get on the buy, boys. Get a bit there. What do you want to give on that, baby? Get a bit there. 20. Look at $20,000. Get a bit there. It's got to be 17. $17,000 bid. 16. 750 bid. Now $17,000 bid. 17. Now $17,000 bid. 16. 750 bid. $17,000 bid. 16. 750. 17. Sold the tractor. 16,750 JR. 484 hours, boys. Nice little tractor. He said, I don't know if them hours are right, boys, but it don't look like it's far off. All right, here we go to Batera, put her right on the money, boys. You bet. You're going to Batera, find a little 3010 New Holland. Here's going to Batera, put her, going to Batera, $10,000, $10. Look at $10,000, look at the Batera 10, going to Batera 10, look at the Batera 2, 25, going to Batera 3 down, but then $20,000, $250, $7,000, 72, going to Batera, $7,000, 2, going to Batera, $7,000, 2.5. Sold it, $7,000. 4 yeah, put it on the money, boys. Gonna be there. Nice little farm hand in there, boys. You're gonna be there. $10,000, 10. Look at 10,000. Gonna be there. 10,000. Gonna be there. 2,500. 3. Gonna be there. 25. 3. Now 5. I got $3 bid up 250 where. $15,000, 2.5. I got $15,000 bid up 250 where. $15,000 bid up 250 where. 15, 250 all done. 15, 2.5. $15,000 bid up 250 where. Sold it. $15,000. Now what do you got? A little mower in there?
It's kind of unbelievable for an old mill.
Hey, she's a 14 and a little D4.
15 grand.
Got 370 hours on it. Boys, there's a little 2014 Great Plains drill now. There is a nice one. Got Brum box on it. There you go, boys. 1,068 total acres. 1,068 total acres on that baby. All right, here we go to Batera.
On the hour meters that are on it.
15, 17, 5. Now 20, get a Batera, 2, 5. Get a Batera, 20, now 2, 5, 1, 2. I got 20 on the floor, 29, 5. Get a Batera, 29 down, 5. Get a Batera, 5. Gotta go. I got $29,000, been at 29, 5. Last call, 29, 5. Now 30. 29,500, 30. Now $30,000, 29,500, $30,000. Now 30. Get a Batera, 29,500, 30,000. Sold it, $30,000 on the floor.
30,000 on that Great Plains drill. So, good luck. I'm glad to see it's somewhere else, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. I would say that they're maybe slightly more than halfway. So, I don't know. It's gonna be a while yet. I don't know if I'm gonna stay till the very end or if I'm gonna go get the trailer, so we'll see. Well, we'll try to go catch up with wherever they are. I don't think they're I think they're still on that same row they were a while ago when I went and sat in the pickup a while, and I think they're just now maybe coming back. So we'll catch up with them. I'm just looking at some of this stuff while it's running. It wasn't all running the other day, so that's a pretty sweet running IH right there. Like I said, I don't know if that's one of the German diesels or what, but that runs pretty good. I don't know if any of these are running, these TWs. Doesn't look like it. We'll wait and see what they say about them when they get there. But stuff is happening. It's moving right along, and I mean they're doing pretty well, I think, with speed-wise is what I'm saying, you know, moving right through it. So I think it won't be a long, you know, till 5 o'clock day. So we'll probably cut out though here in a little bit and go get the trailer. They're at $3,700 on that burnt skid steer. There must be hydraulic pumps or something I don't see that gives it the value. because that's kind of unbelievable. Flooded. There we go. That's pretty good running H.
Boys, here's a little H. You said come right out of the barn, boys. She runs like a top. All right, here we go to the batter. Get on the money, boys. You bag. Get the batter. Put it right on the money, boys. Get the batter. How much you want to give? Get the batter. 500, 600. Get the batter. 7, 8. 800 bid a $700 bid at 8. Get the batter. $700 bid at 8. Where 7, 8. Now $800 bid at 7 and 800 bid at 7. Get the batter. 800 bid at 7. Get the batter. 800. I get 700, 800. Get the batter. Look at here. 700 bid at 800 bid at 7, 8. Where now they half. Now they get the batter. 7 1/2, 8. Cheryl's out. Ted's in. 7 1/2, 800. Now 800 bid at 750. Get the batter. 800 bid at 750. Get the batter. 800. Where I get 750 bid at $800 bid at 750 bid at right, boys, runs good. I got Ted, 7 1/2, 8. Sold it, 750, Ted's way. Little John Deere, 4440, come right out of Evansville, Indiana. It's got 9,900 hours on it, boys, just the way you like them. All right, here we go to the batter. Get on the buy, boys. You get to the batter. $20,000, 20. Look at $20,000 to the batter. $20,000 to the batter. 20. Got 10, 15, 12, 5, 21, 5. We're going to batter to 5. We're going to batter to 5. Gotta go, boys. 21, 5. I got $21,000 bid at 21, 5. We're going to batter to 5. To the bid to 5. Sold it, Mike. $21,000. Pull up here, driver. You got a little 84 model, 1650 with a loader. 3,890 hours, gear drive, boys. Plumb to Batere. There you go, boys. There's a nice tractor. All right, if you go to Batere, put it on the bone, go to Batere. $20,000 bid, go to Batere. 885, 885. Go to Batere to 9 to 95, and a 10. Go to Batere to 95, 10, 5. $13,000. I got 12,750, 13 y'all done. So go to Batere to $13,000, 7 1/2, $13,000. Sold it, 12,750. Well, there's a nice little 4430. There you are, boys. Come right out of Dale, Indiana, brand new, boys. The farm we just sold on Monday, they bought her brand new. All right, little 4430. All right, if you go to Batere, get her, go to Batere, 2-wheel drive, boys. Go to Batere, put it on the money, boys. You tell me to get to Batere, $20,000. Look at 20, get to Batere, $20,000, get to Batere, 20, 10, 12, 5. I get 10,000, bid to 12, 5, get to $10,000, bid to 50, get to Batere, to 5, bid to 5. Now 7 1/2. I'm on the screen now. 22, I'm in the screen. 750, now 3, $23,000. 23, get a Batere, 70,500. I get 23, 2 1/2, 23, 5. Around the corner, driver, 23, 2 1/2, 23, 5. 7 1/2, 23, 750. I get 23 proxies in. Equipment faxes out. 23, 5, 7 1/2. I get 23, 5, 750. Get a Batere, 23, 5, 7. Get a Batere, 23, 5, 750. All done. 5, 7 1/2. Sold the tractor, 23,500. Proxy another. I got 2750. Another 3. Up there another 3. Sell it, 2750. Put them on online. Got scissor hands in, 98.99. I got 9,800, 9,900. They get about turn to 99. Get about turn to 90. All done. Sell it, 9,800. JR. Hey, here's a little TW20. What about this little tractor? What about it, BJ? A little 81 model TW20. It's got cab, boys. It's got front wheel assist. Got 8,950 hours. He said it's got a little bit of hydraulics leak around if you look real close, but other than that, it's a good old tractor. Chuck just shut it off. All right, here we go to Batere. Put it on the money, boys. You tell me, boys. Get a Batere, $20,000 bid at 20 wire. Oh, get $20,000 bid at 20. Get a Batere to $20,000. Get a Batere 10, 12, 5. I get 10,000, 15. Get a Batere to 15. Get a Batere to 13. Get a Batere to 14. Bid now 15, 750 wire. 15, 5 now 750 wire. 15, 5, 7 1/2. Sold the tractor, 15,500. All right, now we got another Ford, little TW10. Hey, BJ said, boys that come right here from a great home. Nice tractor. There you are. Here we go to Batere, $15,000 bid, 15 wire. Over $15,000 bid, $15,000 bid, 75, 10. I get 75, 10, 18, 5. I get a Batere to 5. Cheryl's out 2. I get 13, 2 1/2, 13, $5 bid, 5, 2 1/2, 5, 13, 5. Sold the tractor, 13,250.
Well, friends, I'm sure it'll disappoint some people, but I think I've had enough. I'm gonna go get my trailer. So, cut out a little early. But I'll try to, if I'm smart enough, put the link. I think I can put the link from the sale bill so you could go back and actually see what stuff brought. But I'm gonna just cut out and then hopefully I can get back before they close, because I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I couldn't get my toy home. So I'm gonna go get my trailer and hopefully make it back and we'll be good. So yeah, it was fun, and I can't believe we've won something. I didn't think that would be possible, but it did. So I'm gonna go settle up, we'll get the trailer, and I'll probably make a separate video with that adventure, because who knows how that could go wrong, you know? Anytime I set out to haul something home, things can happen. So we're gonna leave this one here. As always, thank you for watching, and watch it again, and invite friends over and watch the video several more times. But until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.